The single dad had exactly $11 in his checking account the night his boss asked him to help her fix her online dating profile, and he almost said no because he was too ashamed to admit he hadn't eaten dinner in 2 days so his daughter could have seconds. He worked as a warehouse supervisor at a shipping company outside Columbus, Ohio, and his boss, a woman named Diane, had no idea that the man she trusted to run her entire night shift was quietly falling apart at home. His wife had left 3 years earlier, walking out on a rainy Tuesday with 2 suitcases and a note that said she needed to find herself, leaving him alone with a 5-year-old daughter named Lily and a mortgage he could barely keep afloat. He never told anyone at work about the nights he sat in his truck in the parking lot, eating a granola bar for dinner so there would be enough food at home for his little girl. He never told anyone that he had started picking up cans on his way home to sell for extra cash, or that he had sold his father's old watch just to pay for Lily's kindergarten registration fee. He carried it all quietly, the way strong people often do, smiling at work, laughing with coworkers, pretending that everything was fine, because he believed that if people saw how broken he really was, they would stop respecting him. Diane knew none of this. All she knew was that the single dad was the most reliable person on her team, always early, always calm, always willing to help anyone who needed it. So when she found herself sitting alone in her office after hours, staring at a laptop screen with a half-finished dating profile she was too nervous to post, she didn't think twice about asking him for help. "I don't know why I'm like this," she admitted, laughing nervously. "I'm 52 years old and I can run a whole distribution center, but writing 3 sentences about myself feels impossible." The single dad chuckled and sat down across from her, glancing at the screen. "You just have to be honest," he said. "People can feel honesty, even through a screen." She looked at him, surprised by how steady his voice sounded, how kind his eyes were. She didn't know that behind that calm exterior was a man drowning in bills, loneliness, and fear about his daughter's future. He helped her rewrite her bio, choosing words that reflected her sense of humor and her love for hiking, her rescue dog, and her weekend visits to her grandchildren. As they worked, she noticed something odd. His hands were shaking slightly. "Are you okay?" she asked. "Yeah," he said quickly. "Just tired. Long week." She didn't push, but she noticed. She always noticed things about him that he tried to hide, like the way his shoes were falling apart, or the way he sometimes skipped lunch and claimed he wasn't hungry. That night, after they finished the profile, Diane said something that caught him off guard. "You're really good at this," she said. "Better than me at knowing what someone wants to hear." He laughed it off, but something about her words stayed in his mind that night as he drove home, exhausted, worried about the electric bill sitting unopened on his kitchen counter. Over the next few weeks, Diane's dating profile started getting attention, and she came into work excited, showing the single dad message after message from men interested in getting to know her. He smiled and offered advice each time, telling her which messages sounded genuine and which ones felt hollow. But every night he went home to an empty fridge and a daughter who deserved so much more than what he could give her. One evening, Lily looked up at him with her big brown eyes and asked, "Daddy, why do we always eat the same thing?" His heart shattered in that moment, but he smiled anyway. "Because it's our favorite," he said, forcing a laugh so she wouldn't see him break. Meanwhile, Diane had gone on 2 dates, both disappointing, and she found herself venting to the single dad during a quiet moment at the warehouse. "Maybe I'm just bad at this," she said. "Maybe I'm asking the wrong questions." He shook his head. "You're not bad at this. You just haven't found someone who sees you the way you deserve to be seen." Diane looked at him for a long moment, something shifting quietly in her expression, though neither of them acknowledged it. A week later, everything changed. The single dad's car broke down on his way to pick up Lily from school, and with no money for a tow truck, he panicked, calling everyone he could think of. Diane, coincidentally driving nearby, saw his number and answered immediately. She arrived within minutes, helping him get Lily safely, then insisting on driving them both home. When she pulled into his driveway, she noticed the peeling paint, the cracked window, the emptiness of a home trying to hold itself together. She didn't say anything, but her heart ached. That night, unable to sleep, she thought about the calm, kind man who had helped her rewrite her entire dating life while quietly falling apart himself. The next morning, she called him into her office, and what she said stunned him. "I saw your paycheck stub on the seat of your car yesterday," she admitted gently. "I wasn't trying to snoop, I promise, but I saw it, and I need to ask you something important. Are you struggling?" His throat tightened, and for the first time in years, tears filled his eyes in front of another person. "Yes," he whispered, "more than I let anyone know." Diane's own eyes filled with tears as she listened to him explain everything. The divorce, the debts, the sacrifices, the fear of failing his daughter. When he finished, she said something he never expected. "You've spent weeks helping me find happiness," she said softly. "Let me help you find some peace." She adjusted his schedule to give him more overtime, connected him with a financial counselor through the company, and quietly arranged for Lily to receive new school supplies and clothes without ever taking credit for it. But the real twist came weeks later, during a company dinner celebrating record shipping numbers. Diane stood at the podium, thanking her team, when she looked directly at the single dad and said, "One of you helped me realize that everything I needed already existed in a person I overlooked because I was so focused on finding someone new." The room fell silent as she continued, her voice trembling with emotion. "You helped me rewrite my dating profile, but you also rewrote something inside me. You showed me kindness that had nothing to do with romance and everything to do with character." Diane's smile widened, and everyone in the room seemed to hold their breath as she walked toward the single dad, causing Sim to shift uncomfortably in his seat until she stopped and said, "So why not take me out sometime? Just us, no profile needed." Laughter and applause filled the room, but the single dad sat frozen, overwhelmed by disbelief and warmth he hadn't felt in years. Later that night, sitting on his porch, he told Lily about the invitation, unsure how to explain it, but Lily simply smiled and said, "Daddy, maybe good things happen to people who are kind, even when they don't expect it." Those words stayed with him forever. Their first date was simple: a walk through the park, laughter over coffee, an honest conversation about life's hardships and hopes. Diane admitted she had noticed his strength long before that night, and he admitted he had been too afraid to hope for anything good again. Over the following months, their friendship blossomed into something deeper, built not on chemistry from a screen, but on trust earned through real-life struggles and genuine compassion. Diane became someone Lily adored, someone who showed up to school events, who tucked her in during sleepovers, who reminded the single dad that love could still find him even after heartbreak. Their story spread quietly through the warehouse, inspiring co-workers who had lost faith in kindness, love, or second chances. The single dad often reflected on how one small act, helping someone else find happiness, had ended up saving his own life. He realized that kindness was never wasted, even when it seemed to serve someone else's needs first. Diane often said that the best relationships aren't found through carefully written profiles, but through everyday moments of compassion that reveal a person's true heart. Their story became a quiet reminder to everyone who heard it that the people who help us find happiness may be the very people who deserve happiness themselves. And sometimes, love arrives disguised as friendship, patience, and quiet acts of kindness that no algorithm or profile could ever predict. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a comment to share your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to Wings of Kindness for more inspiring stories. Remember, even the smallest act of kindness can change someone's life forever.